We are back. John Pollock alongside John Ramdeen and Robin Black. And the UFC made some tentative news for UFC 206 in addition to the new interim title fight that will headline the card. Pending commission approval, Tim Kennedy will take on Kelvin Gastelum. But
I'm excited about that fight. Rama, are you?
Are you kidding me? I'm bored just talking about Tim Kennedy.
What's this thing with Tim Kennedy?
It's just,
as we were saying that, we were coming into the show, and I'm like, Rammer doesn't like this fight. And Bobby T, our producer, was just like, I love Tim Kennedy. See, the fact that you don't like Tim Kennedy and many others do is why
what do you
Tim
mean
Kennedy...
many others? What many others?
What do you think of Tim Kennedy?
Sure, he's a competitor. Anybody that likes the sport of mixed martial arts has to admire certain individuals. But Tim Kennedy, just really?
Yeah.
When he gets signed to a fight, it's like, I can't wait to see that fight.
How about, does this change your mind in any way? My man Tim Kennedy said he would fight Anthony Johnson at 200
Is that true?
pounds.
Said
he would do it.
He said he would do it.
Says a lot of things, though, to be honest with you. So I enjoyed Tim Kennedy's fights. I did not enjoy the fight he had with Michael Bisping. And I did not enjoy at the press conference afterward, the whole time he was basically saying, you know, I had the worst performance. Why? Well, you have no idea how good I am. I am so talented. Remember that? That was pretty cool. But I mean, he speaks this. You want guys who speak their minds, push the envelope, you know, get people excited,
Feels
make
forced.
something.
Feels forced.
Yeah. Okay. He doesn't like Tim Kennedy.
I like Kelvin Gastelum though.
Well, Kelvin Gastelum's going to have to jump over some obstacles to get onto this card because he was given a 6-month suspension by the New York State Athletic Commission. So Ontario, they could ignore the suspension or abide by it, and I see them acknowledging what New York has done here with the suspension. I hardly think this is going to be something where they just simply rubber stamp Kelvin Gastelum when he has a suspension, even for something like, I mean, even if you take away the fact of him not attending the weigh-ins, which I think is a silly thing to get suspended for, he still would have gotten 3 months for missing weight, which Thiago Alves got.
I can take it a step further. I have seen the Ontario Commission see a suspension, which then a promoter goes and calls that original commission and says, you know, hey, can we discuss the suspension? We have the medical things you requested. We have the scenario requested. The original commission, say Edmonton, says, no problem. We will lift that suspension. And Ontario's like, no, we're honoring it. It's like, wait a second. You're honoring the suspension that was lifted, but so you will ignore the opinion of the Edmonton Commission unless it's the suspension part, which you will keep. Like, I've seen them go further.
Ontario is pretty hardline. I mean, and
they're brutal.
Well, I mean, there's a suspension there. So I'm not even going to necessarily argue with them when there's a suspension there.
But there shouldn't be.
I think you want commissions.
No, but if this was Nevada, would he have been suspended?
No.
Probably not. It's New York, it's new, so it's okay. We better, we don't really know what to do, so we better suspend this guy. We better suspend Romero. We got to suspend all these guys. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, come on. You're a little, trigger happy with what's going on here. And because of that, Ontario is just going to be like, nope. He's suspended, so he's suspended.
Yeah, these two commissions are two of the worst from this type of standpoint, from over-policing with very little education or reasoning why, and the best from, well, nobody is getting hurt here because we'll turn down pretty much every fight, and we will make rules and structures so you almost can't put on shows. Out of 10,
it's a good way to decipher it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't label New York as. I think they're new to this. I don't agree with a lot of these suspensions, but I'll take this any day over commissions that are just blind at the wheel.
See, I can't because I have been involved, whether bucket carrier or commentator or fighter, with shows in Toronto where like 6 out of 10 will not get made because the commission is unreasonably stringent. They'll turn down 16 out of 20 fights, all of which would have been made.
That's not happening in New York.
That's happening in Ontario.
Ontario's a different set of problems.
And then let's talk about Kelvin Gastelum, hardworking, driven guy who just can't make weight. And that's an issue that he needs to address. In failing, he lost all his pay. He's now damaged, his career has been damaged. They say this guy who's about 5'10" has to fight at 185, the killer division right now. He takes a hit on his reputation, and now he has to fight at 185 against a guy who is just ready to fight at 205, who's approved just to get the chance to come back in the door. And a bunch of pencil pushers who 11 weeks ago didn't have any involvement in fighting told this kid who's dedicated his life to fighting that, no, you can't fight now. You know what? Fuck, like that's ridiculous. That is so unbelievably ridiculous. This is this kid's life. And some jackass who, again, months ago knew nothing about fighting. It's like, I don't care it damaged your career. I don't care it's affected your future. I don't care it cost you all this money. No, we don't want you to fight.
But we also have to look at the other side. If Gastelum had made the weight, all this wouldn't have been an issue.
For sure.
Yeah.
And if Gastelum had made the weight, that is 100% on him. But had he not made that weight or dealt with these, in every other commission in North America, except this brand new one who doesn't know what they're doing, he wouldn't be in this situation.
So that is the current situation. Pending commission approval, Kelvin Gastelum, Tim Kennedy at UFC 206. We will see if Ontario is going to honor or disregard New York's suspension of the middleweight Kelvin Gastelum.